And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification arrests and so forth.
This is in relation to some comments that you made on a Facebook page.
6 police officers came to my house and arrested me.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Yesterday, I talked briefly about 3 stories from the UK, one of them involving West Yorkshire Police. And thank you to everybody who responded in the comments, the calm, and of course, the more animated amongst you that wanted to fire back at me. Just on that point, as much as you guys are subscribers, hopefully here to my channel, if you're not, think about doing so. But I'm also a subscriber to many channels, and I've just watched this morning the Black Belt Barrister, who I'll link down in the description. He is a fully qualified barrister in the UK, and he gives his legal opinion on a multitude of different stories inside the UK and beyond. And he's given his take this morning on the West Yorkshire Police's hiring policies. And I think it might be worth you going and having a little look, particularly for those that decided to brand me as a racist for covering those topics yesterday. But you can take it from a legal standpoint. Let's roll on, shall we? I found 3 stories this morning, 3 tales that I thought linked in nicely to yesterday's discussion around the police. Now, if you're following crime statistics in the UK or crime as a general, you would see that knife crime is on the rise, house break-ins, car robberies. All of these statistics are proving difficult for the police to manage. If you are unfortunate enough to have a bike stolen or your house broken into or your tools robbed from your van, you're probably familiar with the fact that the police don't really have the resources to come and support you, visit you, or help you with those cases. But in 2 of these stories today, I'm going to discuss just how I think some of the overreach from the police is leaning in the wrong direction. In story number 1, I'm going to tell you about parents who were recently arrested for commenting on their child's school on a WhatsApp group, a parents' WhatsApp group, where the father of the child criticised the school's recruitment policy whilst they were replacing, I believe, a headmaster or certainly one of the more senior positions within the school. He questioned the recruitment policy and also raised some questions.
A mum and dad have been left completely stunned after they were arrested for comments and emails they made about their daughter's school.
Rosalind Levine and Maxie Allen were confronted by 6 police officers at their home before they were taken away, locked in a cell for 8 hours, accused of sending malicious messages. Police have dropped the case.
All fine. Nothing to worry about.
6 police officers came to my house and arrested me. Why? Because I've been talking about my daughter's school on a WhatsApp group.
And what that resulted in was that 6 officers showed up to this couple's home, arrested them. So that's Maxie Allen and Rosalind Levin. Both were detained by the 6 police officers for 8 hours and then later released. And the crime, or what they were questioned over, was their use of social media and the commentary that they had used to question the school. So I saw this report and I thought, fascinating. The police have been investigating for 5 weeks about the parents' discussion points online before they have eventually been released without any further charge.
Following reports of harassment and malicious communications, which are criminal offences, a man and a woman from Borehamwood, both aged in their 40s, were arrested on Wednesday 29 January. The arrests were necessary to fully investigate the allegations, as is routine in these types of matters. Following further investigations, officers deemed that no further action should be taken due to insufficient evidence. A Cowley Hill primary school spokesperson has said, "We sought advice from the police following a high volume of direct correspondence and public social media posts from 2 parents, as this was becoming upsetting for staff, parents and governors. We're always happy for parents to raise concerns, but we do ask that they do this in a suitable way and in line with the school's published complaints procedure."
The couple themselves have said they're traumatised by what went on, and most of this information broke out in April of this year. That's story number 1. Story number 2 is fresh from today. This one is about Vanessa Brown, who was arrested in March of this year and detained for 6 hours because she had taken her iPads off of her daughters in order for them to focus more on schoolwork. So Vanessa decided that her 2 daughters were playing up a little bit when it came to their education, decided to seize their iPads from them, and then she found herself under arrest after police arrested her for theft. Now, an interesting part of this story is that a 40-year-old man has been identified as raising the complaint. There's nobody identifying who that 40-year-old man is yet. Now, if I was to hazard a guess, and obviously I'm no expert here, but potentially an ex-partner, but who knows, that's still to be determined. But as the story goes, she's the mum of the 2 girls, and she's a teacher in Surrey, and she confiscated the iPads from her daughters for them to focus on school. Now, she left the iPads at her mother's house and then had the police show up to question her mother, who's in her 80s, about these stolen iPads. And they then proceeded to arrest Vanessa, take her into custody for questioning before they eventually managed to work out what was going on. Now, in these 2 stories, right, we're not talking about gangs, we're not talking about violence, we're barely talking about a crime other than the ability for them both to have used social media or social media devices such as iPads to find themselves in trouble. But to join all of this together, and that is to look at the statistics of 2023 arrests. And this is to confirm that 12,000 arrests were made in 2023 for online posting. 12,000 arrests. So for the quick at math, that's 33 arrests a day in the UK over social media posts. We have reached a point where we would rather arrest people who say the hearty words, and I tread that line carefully myself, but we'd rather arrest people over social media posts than crimes. And
we've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time.
I'm sure I don't need to go into this week's news around certain gangs that have been operating in the UK for decades, or inquiries into them, or lack of, should I say. But when you see these things happening and playing out in front of you, you've got to ask yourself, what is policing in the UK currently looking like? Where is this directive coming from that the focus is on people posting online rather than actually dangerous crimes happening in the country? In terms of on these statistics, that is a 50% increase since 2015 on online arrests. Does this feel to you like an overreach by the police force, by the government? And what is the end goal of all of this? For me, it feels like it's to demoralise the normies, the Joe Blogs, to make you feel alienated, to make you feel down about it all, to make you feel concerned about talking about it. Talking about anything shouldn't be allowed. That's certainly the way it seems at times, but maybe that's me just rambling. It is a Friday after all, so thank you for joining me. Tomorrow, Saturday, is Nostalgia Bites Day. I've brought something fun out with me that I'm looking forward to making tomorrow's video with. So, thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this content, and we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Now, if you want to see any more, this link up here, that's what YouTube thinks you should watch next. Take their advice.